When you look at what happened during that election, unless you're a very stupid person, you see what happens. A lot of the people in this audience, yes, and we're going to just win. We're at a point now, we're getting so close. Let's just win it again and straighten out our country.
One other question on this.
You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are given an agenda, or you have an agenda. Look,
I was just saying there's no evidence of that election fraud. You did once tweet.
You're supposed to say that, but I'm glad you say that. But look,
that
was a horrible election. That was a horrible election, and we have to have honest elections in our country. We have open borders. We have said, we'll give you soldiers, we'll give you National Guard, we'll give you whatever you want. And they turned me down.
And in fact,
she turned me down. She turned me down. I didn't have a script. I don't need scripts like a certain person that's in there right now.
The video, it came out much later after they had already attacked the Capitol. But that video that you referenced there, it wasn't posted until 4:17 p.m.
No, I'll tell you.
They breached the Capitol at 2 p.m.
That video was posted
4:17
p.m.
before,
actually a little bit before that.
Chris Miller was your acting defense secretary. He says you never gave that order. But back to what happened on that day. You said you weren't.
He did not say that.
He has testified that, Mr. President.
He did not say that.
But you said you weren't very. Why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out. And this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's far superior, okay? I hope everybody's on it. They took it down. I don't know why. I think they took it down because it was so good. They didn't like it being up there.
Mr. President, I looked at the same timeline that you did.
No, I know, but you didn't report that. You know why? Because it was taken down.
We did report it. I was reporting that day.
It was taken down and it wasn't.
But when it was clear to you that they were not, do you feel that you owe him an apology?
No, because he did something wrong. He should have put the votes back to the state legislatures, and I think we would have had a different outcome. I really do.
But he doesn't have the authority. The vice president does not have the authority to reject those election results.
Let's have this one out just now, because it's interesting. Let's keep it interesting, right? I like Mike Pence very much. He's a very fine man. He's a very nice man. Did they change the law then, saying that you can't do it?
They didn't change the law. They strengthened the law because they were worried about presidents exploiting.
Meaning you could do it.
That's not what it means.
Thank you.
They strengthened.
In Washington, D.C., you cannot get a fair trial. You cannot. Just like in New York City, you can't get a fair trial either. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President,
this is a fake story, and you don't want to give it credibility. That's why I didn't go.
One thing you did do in this.
I have no idea who the hell. She's a
Mr.
whack
President,
job.
You did not testify in.
What is the first thing you would do to help bring down the cost to make things more affordable?
Drill, baby, drill.
You think the U.S. should default if the White House does not agree to the spending cuts Republicans are demanding?
You might as well do it now because you'll do it later. Because we have to save this country. Our country is dying. We have a very big mental health problem in this country. And again, it's not the gun that pulls the trigger. It's the person that pulls the trigger. And we have to protect our Second Amendment. We have to protect them. I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached over that.
You were impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you give Ukraine?
I took the documents. I'm allowed to. You know who else took them? Obama took them. Nixon took them.
Obama
Reagan
did not
took them.
Documents.
Oh, he didn't?
The difference here that I'd like to know.
But you know who took them more than anybody is Joe Biden. He has 1,800 boxes. And nobody even knows where they are. 1,800. And nobody talks about him.
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
Why is it that Biden had 9 boxes in Chinatown? And he gets a lot of money from China. Why is that? And why aren't people? Why aren't people bringing that up? And when we can't make a call to question election results, then this country ought to just forget about it.
You weren't just questioning the election results.
I was questioning the election.
To find you votes.
These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen.
Does it bother you that he keeps talking about 2020 and not 2024?
Couldn't the media ask him a question about 2024? What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny, still out of the studio for the rest of this week, but I was watching the CNN town hall last night along with you. Hopefully, I mean, this would be the only time in human history that I will tell you should have watched CNN, just to see the end of the network officially, because CNN is now a pile of rubble after Donald Trump got through just taking a wrecking ball to them. And along with Donald Trump supporters who were filled in, and the audience had a lot of Trump supporters in it. They had Trump panels afterwards, and CNN just getting roasted and decimated time after time after time. It was layup, dunk, roast, destruction. Alvin Bragg is probably going to be bringing charges against Donald Trump for murder this morning based on the fact that CNN is now officially deceased. So what happened last night was CNN continued to ask questions that the leftist base is obsessed with. The conservative base doesn't care about these issues. Those issues are January 6th. Those issues are 2020 election. Those issues are various lawsuits or frivolous charges brought against Donald Trump. Nobody cares about those, but they are obsessed on the left with those issues. Those are the only issues they care about. They don't care about inflation. They don't care about the cost of oil. And you can see that sort of in the comments from the crowd versus the questions that Donald Trump was getting from Caitlin Collins. And just a word on Caitlin Collins. What an utter and abject fraud. Her career is now totally and completely destroyed. She is never going to be seen as a serious person ever again. Even the left was losing their minds on how bad she was at this. And since when did it become the media's job to fact check someone in real time? When did this happen? This is like it's a rule that is only ever applied to conservatives, right? They don't do this with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's told every single lie. How many grandchildren does Joe Biden have? Let's start with that. Let's start with the Rorschach blot test. How many grandkids does Joe Biden have? No, man. I mean, listen, this is a rule singularly for the left. It is humiliating what happened last night to CNN. It's like they're being roundly destroyed from the right and the left by this. And the more people see this, the more people are going to understand how fraudulent the journalistic ecosystem is. These people live completely separate lives. They care about things that regular Americans don't care about. And it was on beautiful display last night. Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, it is irrelevant. Last night was important to the national conversation because it showed exactly who the corrupt individuals are in society. And that corruption is rotted and rooted directly inside of a journalist class that does not care about the actual needs and desires and wants and priorities of the American people.